It's a beautiful Friday morning in the city of Lagos, Southwest. We're excited to welcome you all into the year 2026. We wish our viewers a prosperous and a great year ahead. My name is Marola K. Ademichu. Let's move straight into the top stories of the daily, starting with Vanguard. Major leading story says how failures in payment pillars, infrastructure lock out people with disabilities. Page 14 and 15 as the story. 2026 Atiku, Obi, Khan, PDP, ACF, MBF chart way forward for Nigeria. Bodija explosion, 30 billion naira federal government fund intact, 20 billion naira balance withheld, or your government says. First Bank successfully completes 500 billion naira capital raise. Page 8, page 10 as the story. Away from the Vanguard into the nation, major leading story. It says lawmakers unveil tax laws. Page 2 as the story. And lastly, First Bank successfully completes 500 billion naira capital raise. And lastly, the Guardian is leading with a year to test policies, shape politics, measure performance. Page 4 and 5 as the story. Police suspend tinted glass enforcement after court order. 8 people die in Lagos Ibadan Express auto crash. Page 8 has the story. National Assembly to release certified tax bill amid gazette discrepancy claims. Page 6 has the story. Northeast to float regional airline commits 30 billion naira on 2 aircraft. Opposition brands 2025 year of hardship, urges change in 2027. And lastly, on the Guardian newspaper, Rivers, Wike Fubara rift deepens as party mobilize support for 2027. You can find our story on page 28 of the Guardian newspaper. And that's all we have for the headlines of the dailies. Join us after this short break for a brief analysis of some of the stories. Welcome back. If you're just joining us, this is Today in the News on Vanguard Life. My name is Marola K. Ademichu. A look into our first story of the day. The Nigerian police force has suspended the enforcement of the tinted glass permit policy in compliance with a court order. The enforcement of the policy was scheduled to commence on the 2nd of January 2026. However, Benjamin Udeyin, the force spokesperson, said in a statement on Thursday that the policy has been suspended pending the hearing and determination of the substantive suit or the vacation of the order. Udain said the police had been served with the interim court order restraining it from enforcing the policy. The force spokesperson disclosed that the police had entered an appearance in the case and applied for the vacation of the order. He said the case has been adjourned to 20th of January for further proceedings. In line with constitutional obligations and respect for judicial authority, the Nigerian police force has entered an appearance in the matter, raised preliminary objections, and formally applied for the vacation of the interim order. The statement reads, the court has adjourned the case to 20th of January 2026 for further proceedings. The Inspector General of Police, IGP Kayode Adeolu Egbetokun, PhD, NPM, affirms that the Nigerian police force remains resolute in upholding the rule of law while discharging its primary mandate of protecting lives and properties. The force will continue to deploy lawful, intelligence-driven strategies to address security challenges and safeguard public safety across the country. A look into our second story of the day. National Assembly clears air on Gazetted Tax Act, releases signed bills for public scrutiny. The leadership of the National Assembly has moved to address growing public concerns over alleged discrepancies between the vote and the proceedings of the legislature and the gazetted versions of recently passed tax acts, directing the clerk to the National Assembly to release the bills signed into law by the President for public scrutiny. In a press statement issued on Wednesday night and signed by the Director of Information, Bula Audu Allah, on behalf of the legislature, and the decision followed widespread call for transparency over the controversial tax reforms. According to the statement, the transmitted tax bills, including the certificate pages, bearing presidential assents would be made available to enable Nigerians to independently review the documents and verify the facts. In response to public calls for transparency, the leadership of the National Assembly has directed the clerk to make available the transmitted tax bills duly signed by the President, including the certificate pages. The statement said, noting that the move would allow the public to independently assess the authenticity of the documents. The National Assembly disclosed that despite the intense public debate and interest generated by the tax reforms, formal requests for access to the documents had been limited. This is where we draw the curtain today. Don't forget to follow us on all our social media platforms displaying on your screen. And you can also visit us on our website for more interesting stories at www.vanguardngr.com. My name is Marlake Ademichu. Have a lovely weekend.